Sound Pressure Labs introduces Michael Way from Sound Pressure University. And here we are to discuss Sound Pressure Labs and Sound Pressure University. SoundPressureLabs.com is an exceptional place to get your production credentials. Is what we're setting up is a 17-week curriculum, and at the end of that 17 weeks, you'll be further in the industry than you have thought possible. It surprises me every single day. So this is Sound Pressure Laboratories. You can find us online. There's a little button right here. You can click on it at any time. Thank you so much for joining us. All your kids with your super cool switchers where you drop those videos inline, you have got master production happening in a TikTok slot. You can edit videos. It's amazing what you can do. But at Sound Pressure Labs, gives you the full introduction to sound and the dynamics, so you stop screaming in your microphones and blowing out your gain. And nobody wants to hear you go and blow out their speakers all the time. It's really cool, you gamers. Fix your audio. So number 2, the sound dynamics. Super important to know about sound dynamics. So we can teach you all about the difference between dynamics and frequency and tone, all related, but dynamics has its own field. Number 3, stage and studio setup. You guys have access to the most awesome equipment. If we had half the equipment that we did, that what you do now, it would be amazingly more content, 10 times the amount of content than you've created, because we would have created it already. It's amazing to have this technology. And then we're going to go over stereo overview, why we operate in stereo, why we hear in stereo, why it was perceived that stereo is left and right. But realistically, stereo is an immersive sound, just like many companies are providing for you today. We've had surround sound music since the 60s. It's been around forever, but getting it to the consumer market has been insane. It's been insanely difficult. That's what Sound Pressure Labs and Sound Pressure Technology is here to give you today. And the next thing we go into is mixing sound. How do you mix the sound? Why is your microphone so loud and your gameplay so low? So this is very important, and a lot of the mixers that you guys have today don't really have the features necessary to correct this, but they can, and I'm sure they will soon. So the next thing is the gain structure. Very important. That's why your microphone overfeeds when you get all distorted. That's your gain. And so when you enhance the gain and that little red light comes out, it's indicating something's bad. So I just want to let all the gamers know this is a free tutorial for you in this introduction. After that, we move into the gear, and what the gear is set up about is how your technology and your signal processing is developed into your own personal space. And that own personal space that you develop is your sound, much like you've heard the sound of Pink Floyd. Very difficult to duplicate. We have the sound like ZZ Top. Very secret methods of these applications on how to master in these private studios with this particular technology, some of it custom made. I've seen people playing rocks in the studio. I've seen people playing pieces of glass and all kinds of stuff, and then manipulating the waves through signal processing. Amazing sounds have come, and you know a lot of the songs. How we make movies and create Foley effects. It's just a process of joy for me. And I've loved audio since I was no feet tall, because my ears have always been tuned to the environment that we live in. The next thing we do is frequency control. It's different from dynamics and how to dynamic and control your dynamics. Frequency control is an absolute application that you need to do live sound, so you don't get a lot of feedback. The next one is the DAW. It's a sequencing spiritual experience. You know what? It's DAW versus DAW. That's why it's a kung fu experience as well, because your DAW is better than my DAW, and I'll show you how to use all the DAWs together at once. Could you imagine using more than one DAW? For what reason? You could find out at Sound Pressure Labs. So the next thing we do is SPL Tech, the live versus the studio, and 10A spherical emulation, which is super important in the immersive world, because how are you developing mono instruments into a spherical perspective? So we've also developed particular sounds for artists. We have a new artist that we're developing. We've created her sound. Her sound is going to be actually patented, so nobody else can play guitar in the sound that she has created, because we developed it specifically at Sound Pressure Labs. And that patented sound, boom, can only be achieved with Sound Pressure technology. The next thing we go is class 11, mastering. And the thing about mastering class is you don't have a digital teleprompter. You have to flip papers like it's 1942. No, mastering class is awesome because we put you in studios where we've already mastered projects. We put you in studios with Grammy accredited engineers, and we also put you in studios with engineers that built their studios from the ground up. So the other thing about our classes is they're taught by university professors, they're taught by academic engineers, they're taught by chamber orchestra masters and producers from many states. And also you'll be doing it in their studios. So we're the only school that puts you in an actual studio that's doing live production with a mastering engineer, and he teaches you techniques for the day that we set up for you by buying bulk hours in these studios and having these studios and investing in these studios and keeping these studios running. So you want to be a Sound Pressure studio as soon as possible. Get your franchises today. So in the next point, we're in Postmaster. We're going to take you into graphic design and arts. We're going to take you into digital encoding. We're going to take you into publishing, BMI ASCAP. We're going to take you into Master Sync. We're going to take you into movie placement, which is Master Sync. And then soundtracks, scoring, digital rendering, how we do all of this in the spherical immersion field live in real time. And you can perform this on stage. You can take this into the studio and record. You can record this in a standard studio and then take it to an immersive studio. This saves tons of time, tons of hours in production, and it saves studios millions in costs. So getting your franchise is the most important thing because they're going to be going fast. So you can do it through internship, you can do it through paid tuition, or you can do it through scholarship. The things that you get that you do not get from any other school, super important. You get placement in local unions with franchises, and you also get placed in freelance perspectives as well. Depending on your capabilities and the availability of positions, you could be working at the Sound of Music on the next live tour. It's amazing what we can accomplish here at Sound Pressure Labs. So the next thing that we're doing here is that we're going to give you real-time production in real-time studios on real projects, in real sets. Getting you placed is the first and foremost thing. So within the 17 weeks of your class, the first goal is to get you placed and get you into these positions, to get you experience, because hands-on experience is the most important part about audio visual, and audio production. So the next thing we do is give you a full, complete, finished project produced and released by the end of your 17 weeks. No course does that. They don't have the access to the Grammy engineers because they didn't produce any. Here we go. The next one's, you'll be able to have your own franchise after your 17-week class. Whether it's internship or whether it's scholarship or whether it's a paid tuition, you have the opportunity to run your own true SPL franchise. And what's important about that is that they're filling up fast. So get your opportunity now and get your space in place, because immersive audio is the thing that's going to be. So when you do immersive events, catch us at the LA Soirée on January 31st, 2025, which will be the year of immersion. We're calling 2025 the year of immersion because that's how excited I am about this. We're going to do the West Coast Immersive Tour in 2025. Get your tickets. It's going to be spectacular. We're also doing 2 days NAMM show. I believe the 23rd and 24th, Thursday and Friday. Get your tickets. NAMM. This is 2023 when we released this machine. Thank you so much for joining us at Sound Pressure University, and I can't wait for you to find out what number 5 is. Click, share, send, like. If you know anybody in audio production that loves immersive technology and is frustrated with Atmos, Sound Pressure Labs has the real-time solution that makes making music fun again. Because that's what it's about, having fun. Love you, Sound Pressure Labs.